Hi team, I am back with another video. I wanted to make this video because I know that there is a huge class of graduates that will be entering the workforce this summer, and I just wanted to share my own personal tips about your job application. I will be posting a few other videos in maybe a series about how to find your dream job, how to find the perfect job, how to find a job that you'll be happy at. I think that's the next video I'm going to be doing because I do have some really good tips for that and I want to share them with you because I was able to find a job that I really love to be at, and it's not a pain to go to 40 hours a week. So keep an eye out for those videos. Please subscribe if you want to see more about job applications, interviews, things like that, as I will be doing some more videos on that. Anyway, let's get started. A big part of this process is the job application. It is the first glimpse that a hiring manager gets, so your application has to be perfect. So I have a few tips that I would like to share with you concerning your job application. Just for some background, I have been in the workforce for almost 3 years. I have held one job, but I have applied to I don't know, maybe 15 jobs throughout those 3 years, just for different reasons. I was considering a job change. I was, there was just different things happening. I have received interviews for most of those jobs and have received a lot of offers. I didn't end up taking any of them, but my job application process, I don't really get too nervous about it anymore. I think it's because of these tips and how much success they've gotten me. So I will share those with you. So the first tip I have for you guys is to use job search engines to find a job. These include Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn. Websites like that can help you narrow down your search to exactly the kind of position you're looking for with the company that you're looking for. I will typically type in the desired role and location. So maybe research assistant in Washington, D.C. or administrative assistant and San Diego. And that will give you thousands of results, which isn't that helpful. So then comes the real tip. Typically what will show up is entries that have been sorted by relevance. I would change that to sort by date. That will cause all of the job postings that have been posted recently to populate the top of the list. So that will include jobs that have been posted today or yesterday or a week ago. So jobs that have been posted recently that hiring managers are still looking at. These are better jobs to apply to than ones that have been posted over 30 days ago. I would say that you're kind of wasting your time if you're applying to jobs that have been posted that long ago. That is my first tip. Apply to jobs that have been posted most recently. That means that the hiring manager is actively looking for a candidate, and getting your application in early can only help you. So what I will typically do next is try to find a personal connection to someone in the company. In Washington, D.C., everyone kind of knows each other. Really just like trying to find a personal connection to the people that work there would really help you out a lot. Unfortunately, it's not always about what skills you have, but who you know. So an example of this can be 2 jobs that I applied for. So this was a while back when I was applying to jobs for the first time ever. This was the first job I was ever offered, and I found out about this position because I had been to an event hosted by a director at this company, and my professor had taken us there. My professor knew the director. I decided I wanted to apply there just because it fit what I was looking for, and so my professor recommended me to the director once I had submitted my application, and I was given interviews, and I ultimately was offered the job. There was probably a lot of other applicants with the same skills as me, but because there was that connection there, I was ultimately offered the job because the director trusted the professor as a person and knew that the professor wouldn't recommend anyone who was a dud. So that's an example of that. Keep in mind that I didn't just get these jobs because I knew these people, but because I was a good applicant and I met the requirements. So the next step I have is to do research on the company that you are looking into. So they are definitely going to be doing research on you to make sure those socials are clean. But do research on the people that they have hired for the position already. So you can typically do this on LinkedIn. So what I will typically do is look up the company on LinkedIn, let's say Merrill Lynch, and they are hiring someone for the position of research analyst. On LinkedIn, you can often pull up Merrill Lynch, and then it'll say people who work here, worked here, and there'll be a bunch of little faces of people, and you can click that. And the key thing here is to find someone who works in the role that you are hoping to apply for. Read what they wrote under their description of their job, and I will keep that in the back of my mind for my cover letter. And I will definitely include bits and pieces of what they say in my cover letter, especially if, you know, obviously if I have those skills. So if maybe Matt, the research analyst, says conducts open source research, and I have done that before, in my application I will write, in my cover letter I will write word for word, I have conducted extensive open source research. Another way to typically do this is I'll go on the company website, and if it's small enough, they'll have their staff listed on one of the pages, and you can go through them and see what the people they've hired for your position are like. So maybe there'll be a few different research analysts, and you can click all of them, see what their background is, see if they got their masters, see if you are a similar applicant to what they're looking for. And like a good way to, you know, cut out a job application that you might be wasting your time on is if 3 of them have masters and you don't have your masters, then maybe just, you know, you're not qualified. So looking on the websites and doing your research on them can definitely help you out. Okay, so my next tip is when applying for a job, make sure to turn in a cover letter and a resume. I know a lot of these Indeed jobs have like a one-click apply that you just submit your resume and that's good enough for them. Do not do that. Always submit a cover letter, especially for jobs that you really want. There's just so many people who turn in half-completed applications, they don't answer all the questions, and being on the hiring side, which I have been in the past, I ignore those. I'm like, this person put no effort into the application, they didn't write a cover letter, they really don't want this job, and the resume doesn't even really apply to this position. They've kind of just like one hit click apply, and those people are immediately weeded out. So when you're applying, make sure you have a cover letter and a resume along with whatever other materials they have asked you for. And make sure those are specially catered to the position, especially the ones you want. You can do this by, on your resume, making sure that the description of what you've done in the past directly applies to the new position that you're looking for and what their skills required are. I applied to different types of jobs in the past, like I've applied to digital media jobs versus community organizing jobs. I have experience in both, but for the digital media job, my cover letter and resume were really heavy on digital media stuff that I've done versus my community organizing one was really heavy on the community organizing stuff that I've done. You know, tailoring those resumes rather than having just one resume will definitely help you out. And doing the same with your cover letter will definitely help you out. So now let's go back to the previous tips, which is doing your research on the company and doing your research on staff who work there. So you can use that information for your cover letter and your resume. Like I said, on LinkedIn, the staff member might have listed their typical daily tasks and what they're skilled in at that job, and you can use that and include it in your resume and cover letter. So when the manager is looking at the applications, they see that you have the skills that they exactly want, and you know that because their current employee is doing it. Obviously don't lie, because they're going to find out once you get there and you don't know how to do anything, but this helps you to get a sense of exactly what they want and to word it in a way that they want it. And I'll often even cut from a job posting. For example, on their listing, it might say that they are looking for someone to be part of their collaborative, hardworking team. So in my cover letter, I will write that I highly value collaboration and I'm eager to be part of a hardworking team. So those are like hot words, keywords that they included in their job posting and that I am now including in my cover letter. These are going to be words that the hiring manager remembers, doesn't know from where, but it was in their job posting, and so they're like, oh, that sounds like something we want. So I will often do things like that, just, you know, cut and paste little things as long as it applies to me, just to kind of like spark in their memory, like, oh, this is what we wanted and this person kind of has that. So like I said, this is another example of making sure your resume and your cover letter exactly fit what they're looking for. if you don't say that you have the required skills that they're asking for on their on your resume, they're probably going to throw you out. If you're sending basic resumes out and they don't include what they're asking for on the job posting, they're not going to contact you. So if on the job posting it says you need to know Salesforce, and it'd be great if you knew PEC XR database, I don't know, then you should definitely write in your cover letter and your resume that you have those skills. So just make yourself the most well-rounded, perfect candidate for their job. Just like when they look at their job posting, your job application should meet all of these requirements.